One of the most important parts of your house that is so often overlooked. We're going to talk about it right now. Stay tuned. Inside of the house. We're back, everybody. This is the Your Little Castle Show. Appreciate you staying tuned. We in life, there's a lot of things you don't pay attention to them until they become an issue. But so many people overlook gutters, and it's hard to imagine why. No, it's not. It's pretty easy when you think about it. And I'll never forget, we were looking at water had come inside of this old Victorian home that we have, and it come in down the wall. And we figured out that the water in the gutter had been poured in, and then it just would pile up instead of going through the gutter flow. And it was just because it hadn't been maintained, and it just overflowed and went into the house. It caused all kinds of water damage inside the house. Gutters are more important than most people realize.
Oh yeah, very important.
Welcome back, Austin. He's got a cool last name, Funk. Owner, founder, operator, best DAM gutters, dam gutters that block that problem, siphon it out, and make it so it's not an issue where you should never deal with water in the house because of your gutters.
Right, never, never. It's a bad scenario.
Something went wrong if that's the situation you've got. So let's jump back into it. Tell me though, as we get into this, I didn't realize. I mean, you never want to cut corners. We talk about that right that one down. Cheap gets very expensive. Everyone, we all know that. But we all say, "Oh, give me the best price." Well, then sometimes you're cutting your corners so much. Cheap, you should not be on gutters either.
Correct.
Don't do that. But what is the biggest mistake that people make? We talked about that a little bit the first show, but emphasize some of the biggest mistakes people make when they're considering getting new gutters.
Yeah. So when they're considering getting new gutters, all right. What is the system made of? What is the build of materials, right? Are they going with the cheapest hangers that experience a lot of what's called hanger fatigue, where you see your hangers sag down?
I got hanger fatigue, everybody. Okay, that's good. Yeah. I didn't realize that, but they start to droop a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not in line, and
absolutely, they start to droop, or the screws aren't covered or installed or coated with a proper coating on how they should be.
Okay.
And the screws end up pulling out. Screws shouldn't pull out.
Yeah.
That's the issue with nails.
Right, nails, that happens, but screws, no. That's
right.
why. And zinc, you said.
Yeah, the screws that we use, yet again, are made by a company called Raytec, and they're coated with zinc. All right, and so what that means is they're rated for a salt spray for 200 hours. So that's why they're rated for the coastal regions.
Okay.
But like I said, we use them over here just because they just last so much longer, and they're able to maintain that warranty that we offer to the customers.
So that's a little upgrade you include by default.
By default, we will not diverge from that type of material.
Yeah, well, you want to keep the high quality in there, everybody. That's why you get experts that can explain these things to you. And like I mentioned to you, I didn't think about this until we were talking, but I've done a few roofs in my life that I've had to get done. I didn't do them. We hired somebody. And they're always like, well, we'll throw in the gutters for you. We'll get that. But the problem there, again, is that they're going to go with the cheapest gutters to try to win the job. And when you do cheap gets very expensive.
Yeah, so when somebody's doing a job at cost, they're trying to win you over somehow. Yeah. And when somebody just does something at cost just to facilitate doing it, it ends up costing you in the end. Whether it be something's going wrong, they don't have a warranty, you have an issue, they don't have a call center for it. The list just keeps going on and on.
Yeah, get these things taken care of, do them properly, because again, how often is it bad erosion problems? People have water damage to their house, inside their house, because the gutters were not installed correctly, or they failed and nobody bothered to get in there and fix it before it became an issue.
Yeah, so erosion can happen very quickly, or it can happen, over time, depending on how bad the scenario is.
Right.
We've seen scenarios so bad that new construction homes just developed within the first year already have basement waterproofing problems because the gutters, by the actual builders, wasn't even installed properly.
Okay, yeah. So when you go with high quality stuff, proper installation, warranties that cover it, you're really not going to go wrong here.
Absolutely.
Get a hold of our buddies here. We'll put that there. It just popped up on me. Best DAM, dam gutters. It's not just a gutter. It's a best dam gutter. Best dam gutters, DAM gutters.com, 618-418-3936. Cool logo. You've done a lot of this yourself. You're in the field doing it. You're the one doing the marketing decisions.
Absolutely.
Built up a company.
I actually developed the logo.
Did you do the logo too?
Yes,
I was
sir.
gonna say that's a cool looking logo. Who helped you with that? You did it yourself. Good job. Tell me, do you do residential and commercial? Is it primarily residential? Is there a little commercial? What?
Yeah, it's primarily residential. A lot of times with commercial, these commercial jobs, a lot more is going on with them. So a lot of times they tend to deal with a large general contractor, and a lot of times they have their own in-house gutter guys, which is okay because those guys, they're focusing on the industry. But with residential, you don't see that very often. Majority of our work is to the residential customer.
Yeah, well, that's where you specialize, and you get a lot of. I appreciate guys who specialize in helping residential because, and tell me, is it often the residential people? They're a little easier to work with. You're not having to go through some vice president who has to go approve something quote that's been thrown out, but you're getting to work face to face with these people who are in our community and own the houses that we.
Yeah, it's honestly a little bit more rewarding working with the customer and easier. Just because you're dealing and talking with the person that is the owner of the home. You get the idea of what their culture is, what their needs are, and exactly what they want out of the whole scenario and why you're there. When you're dealing with commercial, they just want a specific job done. They don't care. They just want it done, and a lot of times they're not happy. They're just satisfied. Just because they're fixing a problem and they can clock out at the end of the day. With the customer, they feel great that you're here. We get to put a smile on the customer's face. And then the fact that, they didn't waste their money.
Yeah, but residents don't have time or money to waste, and so
Exactly.
you get to do a good job there. Tell me a time then. I can imagine as long as you've been doing this, give me an example of somebody you knew was in a tough situation, kind of left out there, maybe a previous contractor didn't take care of them, but you stepped in and helped somebody, and how you took care of that problem.
Yeah, so there's a couple different scenarios. The first one was with my stepmother. My stepmother, when she lived in a different state, she hired somebody else, because we weren't in that state, obviously.
Yeah.
And the contractor ended up taking the check and leaving and never
Bolted.
coming back.
Oh, wow.
Couldn't find him. He wasn't registered with the state. Granted, she paid him with the check and it was probably traceable, but she's old enough, she couldn't handle any of that. So essentially what we had to do is we just had to come out and do the job. Yes, it was my stepmother, and yeah, we did it for free, but that's just something that we do, and we would do that for any one of our customers. And to make an example of that, there was one customer that we had in Belleville that had a very similar situation, except the contractor completely botched the whole job.
Ooh.
Right after the roof repair, essentially water was coming into the house. They had leaking, flashing, a whole plethora of issues. And we were able to, address the issue, find exactly what was going on, and then refer them to a licensed roofer that we knew and trust.
Yeah, how many people are there? We worry about the fly-by-night. Don't write a check to somebody, at least not for the whole amount.
Right.
And even then, just make sure to check out their background. And what are some of the mistakes that you think people make when choosing a contractor? Obviously,
Yeah, so not looking at the reviews. Reviews are a big thing, and when someone starts a brand new company, they're not going to have any reviews.
Right.
So it's not just reviews you have to look at. You have to look at their background. Who is the owner? Have you done a background check or looked up, their court records or anything like that? Who is this person? Is he a person that is a recent criminal?
Right.
Different stuff like that. The type of people that they hire. Are they a good person, or are the people that they're bringing less par of a person? So that's another thing to consider is the cheapest price. Somebody's cutting corners. Somebody's taking shortcuts somewhere.
Right. Yeah, and cutting corners will always lead to some kind of a problem, especially when you're talking about hardware and construction, and you don't want to have those because you're talking about your house. This is the most valuable asset just about anybody ever owns.
That's where you live. It's everything, majority of your possessions, everything that you accumulate throughout the years, your accomplishments, all that is under that roof.
Yeah, and everything you put into this, why would you ever want to skimp anywhere? Roof, very important. Gutters, equally important. I'd say, as a matter of function, the roof, it's kind of like either it works or it doesn't. If you've had some damage to it, that's obvious. But gutters, that's actually a system.
Yeah, gutters, if left unattended or unmaintenanced, can be a silent killer to a home. there's plenty of times when when I was working for a basement waterproofing company that we would come in, and because the gutters weren't maintained or they were broken or whatever the case may be, causing water to get to the foundation, there had to be helical piers installed all around the house. And because of not having a proper gutter system, that may have costed $1,100, $1,200, $3,500. It costed them $40,000.
Holy cow!
And then they had to get gutters.
Has to get gutters on top of that. Water damage had to come in there.
Yeah, water
Foundation.
damage is a slow, silent killer.
Make sure you get this stuff addressed, everybody. I want to show everybody your video that you've got on your website. That this thing is kind of taken off as a little bit of a hit here in the community, and it's fun with we talked a little bit about. There it is, and I'll play it for everybody. They won't be able to hear it. I can turn on my speaker real quick, and we'll time this just right. But let me get this set up there. I'm going to go to the wide shot, and I can actually I'm going to put it on behind me. So let me do this. We don't normally do it this way, but today we're going to try it. So behind me, all right, so now you can see the video. I'm going to hit the power on my speaker, so now we might hear a little echo, echo, echo.
Hey, Quinn,
That's the Queen of Gutters to you, Dad.
what's the difference between our business and the competitors?
Quality, of course.
We install, repair, and clean gutters, whether it's commercial or residential. We serviced the St. Louis area for many years, and our materials and work are backed by warranties you can trust. Don't wish it was easier, wish it was better.
Call the Queen of Gutters to book your estimate today.
Or just call me.
Oh, that's kind of cool. How's that make you feel, having that kind of a creative insight there?
Yeah,
to
so
play with people?
obviously the inspiration, is paying homage to Becky, the Carpet Queen. But it was a real joy to be able to put my daughter on the big screen. She's always watching these YouTube videos of all their fathers and daughters running around and having a good time on YouTube, and it was a pleasure to be able to accomplish that for her.
Well, that's neat that you get to bring in the whole family. Wife here with us today. Kids involved with the commercials. This is going to be a family business for a long time to come.
They can't wait to come hang gutter.
Hey, we're looking forward to hanging gutters. We talked about that a little bit too in our maybe it was in between breaks there while we were playing our info a little community piece that we had last show. But how many people are YouTube certified, right? I can do this myself. Can they buy gutters at Lowe's and try to install themselves?
Yeah, you can try to install them yourselves, but here's the caveat: we're the ones with the machine. We can make all of our gutter seamless. That means when you get them from Lowe's, they're going to come in 10-foot sections. So if you got a 50-foot piece, that's up to 5 different places that it could leak in one whole run. Our gutter is seamless, so that means that entire run, that entire straight run, will be one entire piece. Whether it's 15 foot or 115 foot, it'll be one piece.
Okay, yeah, that's important. Again, trying to do it yourself, I can only imagine. They're not saving much by doing that, right?
No.
By the time you add up a little bit of labor and the work and energy and time, and then when it doesn't, and it fails, now they just cost themselves quite a bit more.
Absolutely.
But you've done this professionally now for 23 years of experience and your own business now. You said you're 6 years in with your current company?
Yes, 6 years professionally with Best Damn Gutters Plus, my business, and that's I'm excited to actually bring this to fruition because, like I was telling you, I learned all this from my father, and he never started his own business. So it's a way of making him proud, fulfilling my own goals in life, and then bringing that freedom and financial success to the rest of the family.
That's what we like to show off here on our show, everybody. Leaders taking a chance, doing it, and helping their community, and becoming a leader in the community. We're going to share a little bit more of the fun we have in our community. My buddy Will Be Inspired, former police officer, runs a charity now that helps for people who serve in our military and related EMT, etc., fire, police, who PTSD is something that is a great concern for a lot of people. So take a look at this. Check out what we're talking about here. Will Bates, everybody. Will Be Inspired. Tell me about the event you got going on here.
Oh, we got a golf tournament today. Got some people coming out to support our military veterans and first responders. Everything that we raise today goes towards benefiting them, mental and physical health, overall wellness, wellness retreats, outdoor retreats, gym memberships. You think of it, you name it. That's what we do. So this is all to benefit them. I appreciate everybody coming out and taking action. Thank you.
We're Old Hickory Golf Course. Been here for a number of events. Great crowd here.
Yeah.
How many people turn out for this thing so far?
Oh, there'll be at least 170 people here.
170 golfers, everybody. All right, if they need the Cardinal Cowboy to give out some free golf lessons, I might be doing that later. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for that.
Yeah,
It's
I
not worth it.
appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Giddy up. We'll see you guys. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up!
So there are lots of fun stuff we get to do in the community. We like to highlight those leaders, and a lot of media fun stuff we do. But if we have to get into a quick discussion, if you're doing anything these days, social media, magnetize your media. Magnetize Media is the name of this book. I wrote the foreword in here. Carter Rethwich, Cardinal Cowboy is my pen name they go with right there. But you can see there. And these days, technology has changed the world. Media has changed the world. You've embraced that. We played that commercial you've done. That's
Absolutely,
pretty cool.
yeah.
You know? Flashback to some of the stuff people remember. How has media affected your business, and how's technology affected what you do?
Well, media affects everybody's life. Everybody is, encompassed by it. Whether if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, no matter where you're at, driving down the road, media is all around you. To be a successful company, you have to get in front of people, and media is the only way to do that.
Yeah, these days it seems like people say in the olden days, not too long ago, Yellow Pages, or you did radio and television and those things. Nowadays, it's like everybody's doing social media, and if you're not doing it, you're going to be left out. Exactly. And I have a lot of people, they spend more money paying somebody to put together social media that doesn't look near as good, and they could have had a production done that would have made them gobs of media. But we have to help educate people. And this is kind of a novelty niche thing that we've kind of worked out here. But we like to help small business and get the word out for people that are doing good work like yourself. So we appreciate you coming in here. Tell me the process then. I can only imagine there's got to be a lot of people like, obviously, this young man knows what he's talking about. And when you have an expert like Austin, they say, all right, I can trust this guy? What's the easiest way for somebody to get started with you?
Yeah, so there's multiple different ways. The first one, obviously, is you just go to our website, bestdamngutters.com. You click on Get a Quote. It's right at the top of the page. It'll take you to a brief questionnaire to get some information from you for our office to be prepared to give you a proper call and to get you on the schedule as soon as possible. Second way is to just do the old-fashioned way. Give us a call at 618-418-3936, and you'll speak with the office staff. More than likely, it'll be Brianna. You'll speak with her. She'll be able to get you on the schedule at a tentative time that fits your needs and your time frame.
Yeah, you'll come out there and in the process, then you go out and meet with them, talk about it, give them a quote, look at the issue, and then
Yeah, so when we go out there, the first thing that we're doing is we're not just going out there and measuring and being like, all right, this is what this is going to cost. We're coming out there to find out why we're here in the first place. What issues are you having? Because we want to make sure after we give you a quote or after we do any work that your problems that you have us out here for originally are going to get solved. And certain things customers don't think about, which brings into our expertise to ensure that whatever solution you may have, it can actually be executed and actually function how it's supposed to.
Yeah, how often is it something that people just, some decisions are easier than others, I guess is where I'm going with that.
Right.
You can make a quick decision, but when you're talking about gutters, and especially when there's just so much, like you don't know what you don't know, you better have an expert that can really help you with it. And you'll come out there and meet with them personally and look it over directly and explain to them the differences, especially in the quality, different levels, and say, here's why we do it the way we do it. This is what we're going to give you.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, the quality is going to be the same. No matter who you are, no matter what house you have, no matter what scenarios you have, we're not going to sacrifice our quality, because if we sacrifice our quality, you might as well just call that cheaper guy.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, when we come in and we give you a solution, not just a system, but a solution, we stand behind it. And when we stand behind it is if it fails, we're covering the cost, not you as a consumer.
Yeah, and when I talk about quality as well, the parts, the components, the actual guttering itself, top-notch stuff. And the company is based here out of Fenton that you go through, so it's a kind of a close resource, but somebody you've worked with for a long time, so you know what you're getting from them.
Absolutely. They work very closely with us as well that we do with them to ensure that we get the best quality products then. Because at the end of the day, there's multiple different vendors that you can go through in St. Louis and other places around the country. But a lot of people don't know, gutters, aluminum gutters, they have magnesium in them. There's a lot more to the composition of the material of gutter than just aluminum.
Okay. And these are things that if you didn't know any better, you might buy the cheaper thing and didn't realize you're getting yourself is going to last near as long, won't be near as durable. And
Correct.
You'll be replacing much more quickly.
Correct.
Not what you want to do. What is a big challenge you've overcome as a business owner? Somebody that's been doing this for a long time, something that made you stronger and you realized, oh wow, there was something I didn't see coming, but it helped you become a better business person.
Yeah, so the challenge was personality, all right? And what I mean by that is, not everybody is going to have good intentions, not even some customers, know, and here's the reality of it. We do our best to be transparent, to set every expectation that could be possibly set, and sometimes you just get someone that you just can't make happy. And and the challenge of that is to be better than what would be expected of somebody in that standard scenario. And so what we've done is we've done stuff for free. We've went out and for instance in a scenario out in Smithton, Illinois, we did buried drainage. We didn't touch the gutters at all. All we did was buried drainage. Customer called a couple weeks later wondering why their gutters are overflowing. We didn't even touch the gutters at all. Okay. But just to save our reputation, to make sure that customer is happy, we went out there and we cleaned the gutters.
So as simple as cleaning the gutters, but they didn't know who to blame. When you were been there most recently, they said, "Come fix this," and you stood up and said, "Hey,
that's just what
nothing
it is."
to do with it.
And sometimes in business, that's just what it is. You just got to bite your tongue and just do the right thing.
Well said. That's how professionals handle things. That's pretty cool. What's the biggest objection people have when they're making a decision like this? They've got some money to spend. They've got something they know that needs to be addressed. Maybe they had a hailstorm come through, and this is part of the repairs that's going to be done. What is the biggest question they have for you?
Yeah. The biggest question is, why should I go with you? You
Right.
know, and a lot of people will just stand there and go, they don't know what to say because they're just saying the same thing that every other gutter company is saying. But the difference between us is you're going to have somebody there at that 20-year mark, at that 19-year mark, that's going to be able to honor that warranty. Because I could try to sell you anything under the moon, right? And if the company goes under, there's nothing that you can do about that warranty because it's gone. What we bring to the customer is sustainability. That way, whatever that they get through us, whatever service, that we're going to be there to honor it.
Keys to being successful, everybody. This is our experts taking their time to sit in studio with us and share the reasons they have developed such success, and sharing a little bit of that information with us. Tell me then, what do you enjoy most about this? What gives you the best satisfaction at the end of the day? Is it just seeing the smile on the consumer's face? What do you enjoy most about what you do?
So, it's not one particular thing. It's a culmination of things, right? It's the fact that I'm able to actually provide a living to other employees. It's the fact that I'm able to provide the best service to customers, that they know that when we left, that they chose the right person, that they're happy to spend money. And that's hard to experience as a customer, being happy to spend money. And that's what we ensure to all of our customers, that whatever they get with us, whatever service, we ensure that they will be 100% of the time.
Yeah, not too many people say, hey, can I spend as much money as I can here? But to know they're going to have a good quality product, peace of mind, so they can sleep at night and say, now I'm not going to have that overflow. I heard the cowboy talking about it. It literally, water was coming in the wall, inside and down the inside of the house. And I looked up, there was just a bunch of brush that had been accumulated, and nobody bothered to do that. And it was starting to pull the gutter away too, because it caused a lot of extra weight there because of that, and it just starts pulling away. And you can have a whole lot of just routine maintenance, but get
It
yourself.
can open up a can of worms. so
That's
to
a
speak.
can of worms for sure. Tell me, what is the most difficult? We've got about a minute and a half here. First, let's go to, give me the most difficult situation you've seen. But tell me, you like to contribute to the community. You said you do work with an organization that you appreciate. Tell me about them.
Yeah, so we do work for Habitat for the Humanity, the O'Fallon, Illinois chapter. And the type of work that we do is we handle all of their gutter systems, right? And going back to quality, the reason why that they chose to go through us and allow us to put our name on the buildings that they decide to put together,
Right.
is because we are putting the best quality on there. We're not just putting the cheapest, thinnest material, the cheapest hangers, the cheapest screws. When these people are giving these homes to families in need, our products ensure that they are going to last just as long as the rest of the house.
That's important. Yeah, it could be easy for somebody to say, hey, man, I'm just helping some community stuff here. It's a little charity thing. I'll just throw in the cheapest thing I got and
Exactly.
patch it together, and they won't know the difference up until years
Up
later.
until they do notice.
Yeah, then the reputation comes to mind. What's the most difficult situation you've seen that you fixed? We got 1 minute left here.
Yeah, the most difficult situation that I've seen is explaining to a customer after they've spent money that it's all wrong. That it's all wrong, and it either has to, either all be replaced or it all has to come down and be redone. That's the biggest challenge, because you see the people's, despair and upset in their face that they just spent all this money and it was almost for nothing.
Experts, everybody. Thank you, Austin, for coming in here and sitting down with us and explaining to us. Best damn gutters, everybody. These guys are the best you'll find, and they do great work. So get a hold of them. We'll be back for more by Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.